Hey folks, welcome to the live stream. How's everybody doing this morning? My name's Dan. This is Tweet FPV. Hope you like that little bit of a different intro this morning. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this 360 camera. It's really kind of changed the way I look at doing flight edits. Not that I usually do a whole lot of them, but it is, I don't know. I find it interesting. Still a lot of things I can play around with it, with the 360 drone thing, but yeah, I'm having fun with it. Hope you guys enjoy it. That's like I don't know, maybe the second or third time I've actually flown the 360 camera. It's interesting. Image quality is a little meh. If the lenses aren't just perfectly clean, you get a lot of chromatic aberration on there, a lot of weird effects, but I think there's a lot of potential there. I know when it first came out, it was really cool, and it was a fad that died off really quick. I think the key is to use it in moderation. Raul Logan Jr., the 1R, not the 1RS. I traded a quad for it. Good deal for me. Over to the chat. If I didn't say good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday morning. If it's Sunday morning we're at. If it's not morning, well, do the conversion. You get it. Live streaming every Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Central Time. That's here in the U.S., Southern Alabama. It is hot out already. It is very hot out. It's 10 o'clock and it's, mid 80s right now. Got a trusty cup of coffee. Rocking my Ruby Moon coffee swag. Support my buddy Brent. Dude I work with. I was worried that he was going to leave this year, get transferred. Turns out he gets another year, so I get my favorite supplier for another year. This is great. Over the chat. Steady Eddie. First one on the board. Good morning, man. Last day of practice for I.O. That is awesome. I kind of wanted to go to that, but life is just far too busy right now. House FPV, almost first. Yeah, that's right, buddy. Welcome to the live stream. House FPV, a huge supporter of the channel here. House is constantly working on new and cool ideas. One of which is this little guy here. This, I know, might sound silly, but this is an ExpressLRS receiver module gamepad thing. So basically, if you want to fly a sim wirelessly with your ExpressLRS transmitter, you can use one of these, and it connects wireless. I like things that are wireless. Yeah, I could plug the USB cable in, but computer's over there, and cables, too many cables, too long, all that stuff. So this is awesome. If you want to get one, I have a link in the video description. You can get them over on FPV Exchange. FPV Exchange is another supporter of the channel. Nevin, super cool dude. Deserves all the support in the world. It's like Amazon, Facebook, and eBay kind of all mashed together for FPV. Great stuff. Lawrence, good morning, good afternoon. Lawrence is, he's gotten bitten by the racing bug. How do I know? Over on Discord. Discord's where all the cool kids hang out. I have two different Discords. Well, one Discord, two different sections. I have the one for everybody and then a special section for patrons. These fine individuals up top who have decided that I am worth supporting. And then Ryan Settlemeyer, I see you in green. That is a YouTube member. I still have to look into how to do stuff with that, but thank you for your support as well. HDZero, thank you for coming to the live stream. Athix, Rick Cepeda, as always. How you doing, buddy? Sorry I missed your Saturday stream. I literally woke up Saturday morning and got ready to go to work. That is how completely up my life is right now and my sleep schedule. It's all messed up, man. Fly Zone Drone, how you doing? Sco FPV, longtime supporter of the channel. Head Fog, that's a new name. I don't know if I've seen that before. Coffee to everybody. You're not kidding. Oh, I got an AeroPress. My buddy Brent, Ruby Moon coffee guy, he talked me into getting an AeroPress because I went on this little vacation trip from that cabin in the video that I showed you, and I brought my French press. I like French press, but it always disappoints me that the bottom of your cup is nothing but mud, and then the bottom of the French press is just wasted coffee, mud, just bleh. I said, get an AeroPress. So it came yesterday. I made myself a cup of iced coffee, which I usually don't like iced coffee. Awesome. If you want an AeroPress, if you want an awesome cup of coffee, AeroPress, man, I am just surprised at how good it is. I haven't done a hot cup in it, but I have done cold coffee in it. I don't really care for the fact that it's all plastic. Kind of worried it's going to pick up some of that plasticiness when it gets hot, but probably not. It's just crazy thoughts. Rearrange Chicken, how you doing this morning? Robbie Store, longtime supporter. Thank you so much for coming out. Fam GFTV, good morning. How you doing? Robert Orlep. That looked like a pretty cool place to fly. Yeah, so found a place in between where I'm at and where the wife is at. It's roughly in between. It was like a 9-hour drive for me and like a 4 for her. So yeah, right. That's how that always works. And rented a tiny house on the lake. Super cool dude, owns a bunch of little cabins in southern Indiana. Had a lot of fun there. We didn't really stay at the cabin all that much. We just went hiking a lot and kind of took in the area. There's a lot to do. That's out in Carbondale, Indiana. Super interesting area. I really enjoyed it there. I had a lot of fun. The dude would, anytime he saw a turtle on the road, he'd pick it up and throw it in the pond. And he said, when you go out, like, you know, he's got a bucket of turtle food in the cabin. He said, grab a coffee can of it, go out, stomp on the deck 5 or 6 times, and start chucking food out there. Me and the wife sat out there, and we counted at least 35 turtles that would come up. It was kind of nuts. It was cool. The kid really enjoyed it. It was a good time. The ticks. The ticks are out of freaking control there. Like, every time we come back from a hike, I'm picking ticks off of the dog, ticks off of me, ticks off the kid. It's just ticks everywhere. It was really bad. Really bad. Sergio Lopez, positive vibes to you all. Positive vibes to you too, Sergio. Thanks for coming out. Brandon Baked Beans. Gonna keep calling you Baked Beans. Doesn't matter. Good morning, man. How you doing? Glad to see you here. Oh boy, YouTube did the old thingamadobber where it jumps around. Rob Logan Jr. Yeah, I have the Insta360 Go 1R. I have the regular action lens and the 360 lens on it. I really enjoy it. Did some bullet time stuff with it with the family. It had a lot of fun. Just toying around with it. The fact that you don't have to compose a shot before you do it, and you can do it in post, is nice. I just need to figure out how to make it look more natural instead of that like robotic movement and all that stuff. How is it to zoom in on post-processing? It's not bad at all. It's good. You really notice the degradation in quality using the 360 camera. I know it's like 5 point something K, but like that's split between a 360 degree image. But when you're uploading to YouTube, YouTube's gonna, do its thing to it anyway. So what's it really matter? I wanted to get an Action 2, but I wasn't able to find a decent price on one used, and I do a lot of one wheel stuff, as you can see over by that area there. And I kind of wanted to try a 360 cam. I don't know. It's cool. I like it. I wouldn't get rid of it. I would consider buying a 1X. I'll probably wait till like the 1X V3 comes out, whenever that ever does, just to see, just see if they do anything better with the image quality or whatnot. Thomas Kelly, good morning. Kearns JW, morning. Paul McDonald, how you doing? Josh Murrah, how are you? Hope to see you out next weekend. Josh Murrah is one of my local folks. He's got one of the joystick modules and it works awesome. Yeah, I actually put in some time on the global qualifier yesterday. I hate the sim. It's nothing against the sim. I just can't sit down in front of the thing and fly for, people grind out hours on the sim. I get about 30 minutes in it, and then I get bored and I have to go do something else. Although I do really like Nemesis mode. That does make it a lot more interesting, and I do get that kind of like that race jitter intensity. I got to turn off the trails from the other quads because that totally messes me up when I fly through one of their little purple, blue, green quad trails. I had to turn all that stuff off. But the Nemesis mode on Velocidrone is really nice for racing. So like flying the global qualifier, you log your time, and then it puts you in a group of like 3 other people that have raced that are kind of in your bracket. I think they do like one that's slower and then like 3 that are faster, somewhere around there, something like that. I don't know, but it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. House FPV, he's knocking out that link to his ELRS doohingy thingy. One of these days I gotta find an actual name for it. But he has made an improvement to it to get rid of the level shifters. And it looks something like this. So it's literally 3 components: the Pi board, his PCB, and then your Crossfire enabled receiver of choice. It doesn't have to be ExpressLRS. It can be a Crossfire, it can be Tracer, it can be an EP2, it can be one of the beta FPV ones. It doesn't matter as long as it uses the Crossfire protocol, which is what ExpressLRS uses. If that sounds confusing, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It is confusing. Lawrence, I saw the pictures of you cleaning up your pigsty workbench, but good on you, man. Rob Logan Jr., I'm not going to skip over you. I skip over a lot of people. No, I saw your chat there. I saw your thing. Oh, man, a stupid chat thing. It's the best running joke. I always lose on the wheel. Let's not even acknowledge him. Sorry, man. Oh, man. Sko asks, struggling here with a stupid question. How the heck do you change the newbie drone 2S 3000 milliamp GMB27 connectors? I've tried the Google machine. I'm coming up with weird ideas. How do you change the newbie drone 2S GMB connectors? I'm not quite following you there, Sko. Let's see. Newbie drone. Det cam. Let's see what we're talking about here. We got batteries. We got 2S batteries. Let's change the display to desktop 3. Here we go. And you're talking about these guys here with the GMB27. And I'm guessing you want to take these off and change them to a different connector. Where was that question at? The chat just jumps around so much. Where are we at? How the heck do you change a newbie drone 2S GMB20 connectors? You cut them off? Charge. God. Jeez, I can't read. I'm sorry. How do you charge? You need a... I'm sorry. That was a moment of stupid there. You need to make a pigtail or get a GMB27 charging board. There are a few of them out there. Jesus. This is bad. GND27 charger. This one here by eSheen is not a bad option. Of course, you got to find it, but I do have one of these, and it works just fine. It does PH 2.0 and GMB27. Or the other option is you have to make a pigtail to, I'm assuming, probably PH 2.0. So you buy a PH 2.0 female connector or male connector, however you want. You buy the plug side of the PH 27, you buy the plug side of the PH 2.0, and then you just solder the two together with a chunk of wire to make a little jumper. That is what I've seen. Like the eSheen Nanohawk, whatever it was, came with a GMB27, and it came with an adapter with a PH 2.0 and a GNB27 on it. Or you can purchase a 2S battery charger. I have one in the back. Let me go snag that. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. What is this thing? Ultra Power. This guy here, it's not the greatest charger in the world, but it will do 2S, and it charges through the balance port, not through the main discharge port. So this will do 2S packs. It doesn't matter what your main discharge lead is, but this will do it. Actually, if you want, if you're interested in this, hit me up, DM me over on Discord. This has been sitting in the box of things to give away for a while now. We can work on some details there. So anyways, a little bit of housekeeping items here. If you want to get my attention over on the chat, this is my main window. This is what I am looking at here. Not if you see me doing this, it's because I'm looking at this screen, not directly into the lens hole here. This is the funness that I am looking at. Over on the left here, I have my two wall LEDs. This one down here on the bottom here. This is my quad LED wall, and then the other one over here. This is the stuff that's up on top of the couch. I don't know if you can tell it's a couch. That's where the dogs sit right there. Got my my main screen. This is kind of what I'm capturing. YouTube chat, Discord chat. Over on the left-hand side, kind of more of the same. Lumia stream, whatnot. So all the sources in the main screen are derived from the ones on this portrait mode monitor. And then on the right, we've got the stuff that I show you. This is kind of like, if I'm looking over here, it's where I'm doing kind of like, office work stuff. But if you want to get my attention over in the chat, type @TweetFB. It'll light up in orange, just like Rob Logan Jr. here did. And it'll definitely get my attention. Or throw a super chat down. I will do my best to answer those. And all the super chats go into the point at my mic. Whoever told me point at my mic, thank you, because that works. We'll go into the Beast Class Fun here. Beast Class Fun is... Beast Class Quad is still going on. This is where we left off 2 weeks ago, because, like I said, I didn't stream last week. But here we are. We've got basically the powertrain. We've got the ESCs, the PDB, and the motors, main discharge leads, all slaughtered up. I did put the TPU parts on it, just because I wanted the 3M adhesive to stick really well. So what are we doing today? Well, as you saw in the video description, we're going to do the first power up of this thing. I've got this nasty contraption here to to power this guy up. Typically when I build a quad, put the ESC in. Usually I do 4-in-1s. I very rarely do individual ESCs. This is obviously a special case. I put the ESC in, main discharge leads, hook the motors up, power it up. I should get the doot-doot-doot. And from there, as long as we don't have any smoke, we can continue on. They're little checkpoints I use while I'm building a quad. That way I don't put the whole thing together and then something quits and I'm like, well, is it the camera? Is it the receiver? Is it the VTX? Is it the, it gives a more of a methodical, systematic approach to building a quad. And I suggest you do the same thing. Two major components that I'm almost saying these are a must. You must have. Well, there's three actually. First, for starters, this V-Fly V-Fly smoke stopper thing, short saver, the V2. Definitely want one of these. The other thing is a multimeter. Doesn't even have to be a good one. This one's a fairly decent one. It can be even the poorest of quality multimeters as long as it works. We're not looking for super high accuracy or voltage protection because we're not going to be sticking this into a panel in an industrial setting. We're just doing DC voltage for the most part in continuity. And then the other piece, this is probably more important than the other two, is a jeweler's loop. This is a 10x jeweler's loop. I know it sounds silly, but most of you guys out there have no clue how to actually use one of these the right way. But your eyeballs work. Help your eyeballs out. 10x jeweler's loop. There's a link in the video description. I highly recommend this one I have here. It has a ring of LEDs. The batteries don't last long, so you get extra LEDs. It does come with a gradient overlay that goes inside of this thing for like measuring things. You just unscrew it, take that, chuck it out. But this will catch more errors for most people than this and this will. Mostly because, like I said, most people don't know how to use this the right way. But this thing makes a huge difference. Get yourself a jeweler's loop. A bunch of people over on Discord have seen the light recently on the jeweler's loop, so we're gonna make the plug for that. All right, let's see. If I skip your message or whatever, it's because what'll happen is I'll look at the YouTube chat. I'll be reading something, and YouTube will be like, "Hey, you know what? You didn't want to be where you're at. I'm just gonna scroll you to the bottom." And then I gotta backtrack, and sometimes I lose my spot. YouTube kind of sucks like that. I don't understand why they do that. Oh, man. Back to the chat. Let's see. Where am I at? Cedar Side. That's right. I told my wife about that. It's on the list of things in my Amazon cart. Other thing we're going to do today, we're going to do a giveaway. Giving away. And I say we. There's nobody else doing this. It's just me. It's a brand new in the box Beta FEV 95X V3. I never flew this. I wanted to. Never did. So one of you lucky folks will be able to get a hold of this. It's a pretty neat looking little quad. It's analog. Put that back in the box there. And it has no receiver. So I know the box shows a Vista on it, but it's analog, right? So we're doing that today at, what time are we doing that? We're doing that at 11:45 Central Time. It is 10:27 right now, so 11:45. If you don't know where to go to get in the drawing for that, tough shit. Figure it out. I'm not about handouts, but it's basically a handout. If my connection is jumping around, it's because my internet sucks. It's not because it all of a sudden sucks. It just always sucks. Yeah, so that's just the way it is. And Brandon McBean says, hit that like button. Please hit that like button. So we'll be doing that. We'll be doing the Beast class stuff. We'll be doing the giveaway there, and then whatever else kind of falls down in between. And then after the stream, or at some point, I'll probably continue on working on this thing because I really need to get this thing done because I need my bench space. I really need my bench space. June Loco, good morning, man. How you doing? Got the thumbs up to only 6. That's 14 now. Thomas Kelly, hello from Canada, California. Is there Canada, California? Canada, CA? Is that how that works? Come on, stupid. The chat jumped. Where are we at now? Let's see. Yeah, let's go. So you just need to make an adapter or get a charger that does 2S through the balance port. Either way, it'll work. Going through the chat here. House FPV says, odd thing with the Zero, battery voltage got down to 6.2 volts. Verify the meter, fail safe, and the screen was flickering. Yes, the Zero is very sensitive to once you get down to the low voltages. I don't know exactly. I need to keep track of when it is that mine starts twitching out, because it'll work perfectly fine. Then the backlight and the screen will start flickering, and then it just kind of goes to shit. And it's very quick. And the battery warning that comes pre-programmed on it is not high enough, so it seems. There are some things that I think need to be improved on the Zorro, and I'm starting to lean more towards the batteries are one of those things. X class. This is a beast class. What's the weight so far in kilograms? Let me see. Hang on a second. I'll put you on the Doge cam. You can watch her do what she does best, which is nothing. We're up to 1.684 kilograms as it sits on the bench right now. Want a lighted loop? I'll buy that thing. If you do, hit the link. They're so good that I've actually bought a bunch of these for the toolboxes at work. They work so much better than the things that we have. So he's using a fractal engineering board. Those are pretty good. It's a kind of a copy of the Flying Sandal, but you know, it is what it is. Use what you like. Lawrence says the YouTube jumpy thing ain't so bad. At least you're not suffering from the JB fiasco a few weeks. Yeah, no kidding. But my internet just plain sucks here. I'm on a bonded 50 gig or 50 meg DSL connection. I have no other options. It's just where I live. Yeah. J-Rod FPV, how are you doing? It says ordering the Jules loop, but now you have me looking at microscopes I can hook up to my PC. Any recommendations? I don't have any recommendations on USB microscopes. I assume that if they're on Amazon and they're reasonably priced, they're probably crap. I have never tried one. Things like that are kind of gimmicky. Plus, with the microscope, you gotta really think about how you're going to be able to get your work in there. Like if it's a full quad, most likely you're not going to fit it in there, depending on how the microscope's shaped and all that stuff. But I honestly don't have any recommendations. Just look for things that don't have nothing but 5-star reviews. If it has nothing but 5-star reviews, it's probably because the manufacturer is sending these things to people. No, they're having people buy them on Amazon, review them, and then refunding them the money. It happens all the time. It's not, I think it's against the FTC. People get banned from reviewing and stuff like that, but it happens a lot. Yep, that's the one, Brandon. Yeah, Rob Logan Jr. This is what I love about the Insta360. Is you just kind of go, you know, the stick's invisible, you're in the stitch line, so's the stick, and you just kind of edit around it. I love it. I think probably for things like this, the 1X is probably the better choice than the R. Just lighter, more. It's got a thinner stitch line, but yeah, I really like the Insta360 cameras. Josh Murrah says, how does the giveaway entry even work? Do you post a form at some point? I do post a form at some point. I've already posted it. I posted it a month ago. There's a certain place that I posted. Will the Beast ESC test run without it? No. You can get it to boot up. It'll do the doot-doot-doot as long as it's hooked up to motors, because the motors are actually what's making that beeping sound. They're vibrating them like a speaker coil. But you can't actually run the motors without a flight controller or something in there. Like, you could probably hook up an ESC tester that runs PWM, but the ESC would have to be looking for a PWM signal, not a digital signal. So for the most part, no. Ramdonko, can you get Starlink? Probably, but I don't want to deal with that stuff. I've done satellite things, and it's not. No. The jumpy thing, because top chat instead of live chat, no, it does it either way. I'll change it to live chat instead of top chat. But it still does the jumpy thing. I wish that it would just stay where I have it. I think YouTube assumes you scrolled back and then you want it to go to the latest after a certain time period. It sucks. Yeah. So, yeah, internet kind of sucks here, unfortunately. Let's see, drop that in there. So I just dropped a command in there. Lumia Stream's going to do its bleep blurp thing, and it's going to drop down a bunch of commands where you guys can go and kind of goof with the lights if you want to. A lot of things going on in FPV that we really haven't talked about here. A bunch of new digital systems coming out, which that's really cool. I keep getting asked a lot of questions. What should I buy? Right now, nothing. Unless you absolutely need something to actually go fly, I would recommend buying nothing. There's a lot of things happening, and it would suck to be the person that was like, HD DVD, that's the one that's going to win. And then 3 months later, that system's dead and Blu-ray is the one that's came out on top. I don't think all the systems are going to take off. I can't see there going to be. I can't see that there's going to be a system that is going to be. I can't see them all being good in certain ways where you're going to be like, well, I'm going to get this one and maybe this one. I see probably one of them being better than the rest in more ways than the others. Which ways, I have no idea. We'll see how that all shakes out. But, tried and true, it's always going to work. Analog. Analog's not going anywhere. Analog's not dead. There's just other stuff getting into the mix. Back in the 80s and 90s, there was like 4 networks. So it didn't, you didn't have a lot of choices. Now there's a ton, and you can choose whatever the hell you want now. So, yeah, Josh, I bought into the HD DVD as well. I didn't get too far into it, but then again, I never really went into Blu-ray either. After that, I was just like, man, I'll go back to VHS. It just sucked. God, it sucked. It was so we stay at this cabin, and the guy who rents the cabin out, he's got a bunch of DVDs in there. So the first night I was going through, he's like, yeah, there's a bunch of kids DVDs, and I went through there, and it's all like Taken and iRobot, and they're all very adult movies. I didn't really want to watch it with my 8-year-old daughter. And then I saw The Princess Bride. I'm like, Cora, we are going to watch The Princess Bride. She's like, I don't know what that is. She freaking loved it. It gives me hope for humanity. But she's like, what's this main menu thing? And why does it take so long? And why does it say it's loading? I'm like, yeah, this isn't even as bad as it was. I have one race quad that I have an HDZero, and I want to start switching the rest of the fleet to HDZero. I am currently waiting for better camera options. The HD cam, the V2 one with the glass lens that does 4:3 is awesome. I love it. It's too big. I'm waiting for them to make a nano cam that does 4:3 and looks good. So we're just kind of holding off until that camera comes out. Like, they've come out with like 4 different cameras in the last 6 months, so I got a feeling it's probably in the works. Ethics. I got too deep in the bay as a kid for movies. Yeah, she loved it. Then we watched Willy Wonka, which still pretty good. And then we watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was on the same DVD. Anybody out there who says Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that's the one with Johnny Depp, is better than the original Willy Wonka, defriend that person. They're an insane person, and they should not be trusted. That movie was hot garbage. Hot garbage. It was so bad. So bad. Oh. Yeah, I've heard that too, J-Rod. I've heard that before. I don't know if it's true, but, if you say it enough times, it is true, right? Love Tropic Thunder. That was a great movie too. Did you see Mad Sex video with the 1600 milliwatt VTX? No, I did not. I know that, was it Rush or something like that? It has just the stupid powerful analog VTX out there, which, selling high output VTX is what got, I think it was race day quads in a lot of trouble from the FCC because we can't broadcast that high here. So kind of wondering how that's going to work out. Did you see the HDZero working without antennas this week? No, I did not. The Bay content downloads. Yeah, the Bay. The Johnny Depp Bay. The Bay of Pirates. We've all done it. Yeah, Gene Wilder for life. Yeah, he was way better. Way better. The Oompa Loompas in the Depp version were just off-putting and disturbing. It was like, ugh. Yeah. What's the latest HDZ firmware? I'm looking to update everything tonight. Latest HDZ firmware. Here's how we find out, guys. All right, we'll go over to this thing here. We're going to go to HDZero support. Go to download firmware. These are the latest firmwares. So the latest one here, and there's different ones for different parts of it. So the rev date is the front half, so it's day, month, year. So 22/3/22. This is the latest one. And when you download the HDZero firmware, I'll show you here in a second. Inside here, you get the firmware for the Whoop, the TX5, the Shark Bite, the Scout HD, the Race V2, the HDZero VRX, the Freestyle VTX. All the firmwares are in the same download, so you don't need to go and hunt around for different things. But with HDZero, all the firmwares need to match. Oh, but FR Sky had the same shit there. Yeah, you know what? That exists for everything, guys. They're just better organized here. Way better organized. Yeah, there's also a note down here. The TX 5.1 Whoop VTX uses the same firmware as the TX. You know, there's notes. Just keep an eye on that stuff. It is fairly easy to brick your VRX, but it's also very easy to unbrick it if you have to. But yeah, that's where you're gonna find it. I'll drop that in the old live stream chatabrew. There you go. Let's see. Rick Spada says, do you know the camera that comes with the new HDZero light board is 69 or 4.3? It is both. It is native 4.3. It'll do both. I don't know if that will be, if the Whoop VTX camera, the nano camera, will be compatible with the Race VTX. Obviously, the board mounting is going to be different. It's going to be the 25 by 25 mounting instead of the 20 by 20 that I use in all my race quads. So I don't know if that camera is going to be compatible with the other VTXs, and I don't know if that camera is going to be worth using. You know, it's going to have a teeny tiny pinhole lens. The whole idea is HDZero is to have a clearer picture. I could give shits if it's digital. I'm going for higher image quality. If it has smashed analog crap whoop image quality and I'm putting on my race quad, then it defeats the whole purpose of the thing. At least that's how I'm looking at it. So if the image quality is if it's the same or worse than analog because it's using a poor quality plastic lens like the original HDZero cameras, then I don't find the point to it. So I'm waiting for like a race focused nano native 4.3 camera, preferably with a glass lens. So yeah. They update the HD Scout 2. They do, yes. They do, Josh. And then that's where you get it, is on that website. Brandon McBean says, I like flying 16.9, but I wish I had more vertical field of view when I go fast. Yeah, fly 4.3. It's like saying it hurts when I do this. Well, stop doing it. Oh, okay. That's why people who know fly 4.3, so you get that extra vertical resolution. Let's see, smoking time for the beast. Yeah, let's do that. Let's light this puppy. Feel the same way, bro. It's a large field of view. RFL. Sorry, Brandon. I had to jump on that one. But I don't want to. 16.9 is how everything's marketed right now because, yeah. Bart, good morning. How you doing? Finished dressing wires up on the bike. Speaking of bikes, I got the TS250 up and running. Everything's working on it very well. Still looking for a luggage rack. I can't find one. I need to find one for it. I bought not remanufactured, but reproduction turn signals for it. And I rode around the yard and back to the garage. And I looked at the front right turn signal and was kind of flopping around. I'm like, what the heck? So I grabbed it and I went like this to it and it broke. I'm like, oh, God damn it. So like the threads broke off of it. I'm so ticked off. Those came from Great Britain too. And they were not cheap. And I can't find one. I found a set. It's like, God dang it. So upset about that. FamG. It's Family Guyver, right? That's who you are. Don't get me wrong. A lot of pilots still want analog on 4.3 for freestyle and racing. It's a personal thing. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. All right, J-Rod, he's pushing me. Let's transition over to the bench here. First, Dogecam. These guys deserve a retreat. They're being really good. to the bench. There we go. So I've got my third dog back, my little Chiweenie, Lucy. She's not here. She's probably upstairs pissing on the carpet somewhere because that's what she does. That's what she does. These other two have been great. They don't do anything bad, at least I know of. Let's move this window over here so I can see what y'all are talking about. All right. Let's see. Hobby Howie asks, what are you using? Right now, I'm looking at my third computer screen, so that's why I'm looking over here. Says, what are you using for 5.8 analog antennas? The analog antenna that I use, that I prefer for most builds, where I'm not trying for like super long range, is the Foxeer Lollipop 3. The reason why, let me grab one, I'll show you why. So I like the Foxeer Lollipop 3 because the way that they're shaped, the SMA is the lowest thing and it's got a really thin profile. A lot of times with other ones, especially the Lumineer Axie antennas, they have this big bulbous part here, the plastic mold that comes out around them. And what happens is when you tighten them down, that will end up contacting the TPU or your mount, and you don't actually get a very secure light on the threads and a very secure connection, and they do kind of tend to back off. I like the Lollipop 3s because A, they're cheap, they're cheap, they work. Usually come in a 2-pack for about the price of one Lumineer antenna, and the SMA is the lowest thing by far on the whole setup. So these are my preferred antenna. They're durable AF. Now if we're talking long range antennas, where you're going to have a long stalk on them. Basically anything that gets the radiating element up away from the quad, the battery, all the things that block the signal. Yeah, the treat dispenser, it's still on my list of things to work on. Let's see. All right, guys, here we go. So here's the setup. This uses the, I forgot what these things were called. So the AS150 connectors, they're an anti-spark connector. I have my smoke stopper here, and this is just, I mean, like, this is how I typically charge the packs that are AS. Don't worry about the wire color and the connector colors. It's just what I have lying around. But usually I plug this into the charger, this into the battery, so I can charge them on my normal charger. So I have to go from female to female to male, and then these will plug in here. And I'm going to power this off a 6S battery. This is set up to go up to 12S, but we're going to do, yeah, we're just going to do 6S. With the smoke stopper, you need to connect the battery first before you connect it to the quad. I don't know why. It's just what they recommend. And when it comes to this type of stuff, I'll go with recommendations. Let's see. Rob Logan Jr. says, yeah, that must be why I lost my Lumineer antenna 2 flights and was searching the whole yard. Yeah, I find that unless you have the ideal setup, they tend to walk off. All right, here we go. We're going to plug this into here. And let's see, we got this all kind of in frame here. But before we do this, I'm going to talk to you about our sponsor. Really? No, I don't have a sponsor. You guys are my sponsor. Super chats, patrons, and then just clicking those affiliate links in the bottom of the video description, or go to tweetfv.com and click the affiliate links at the bottom there. All that stuff is what allows me to keep doing this stuff on the schedule that I do it. So if you want to support me, super chat, affiliate links, all that stuff. All right, guys, take your bets. What do you think? Smoke? No smoke. All I have is the PDB, 4 ESCs, and 4 motors. Keep in mind, each motor is $100. Each ESC is $100. The PDB, I think, was like $120. So there is $900 worth of components, not including the frame, sitting right here. Yeah. Oh, god dang. No smoke, no smoke, no smoke, no smoke. A lot of no smokes here. Oh, actually, I don't know if this battery's charged. Let me see. This one's been sitting on storage forever. Let me grab it. Cell checker. Oh, I am glad I checked. This battery is clearly foobarred. All right. 22 volts. What the heck happened to this? Oh, that's right. This is a battery that I'm saving for a video that yeah. You're back. There we go. That one's better. Oh, by the way, if you're looking for a cell checker, this is like the Cadillac of cell checkers with the ISTT BG8S. I love this thing. All right, let's try this again. All right, there we go. Let's turn that music down. You can hear my pure disappointment if it happens. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No smoke, no smoke, no smoke. No smoke, but no tones. I am unsure if it actually. I am unsure if a 6S battery is actually enough to really drive anything to get tones. I am. Yeah, it's weird. No smoke, no tones. It could be I don't have enough voltage to actually drive the coils. I mean, these things are built for 12S. So it passed the 6S test. The ESC's lit up. That's good. So we say we freaking send all 12S to it. What do you guys think? Let's do it. All right. So the way we get 12S is we have 2 6S monster freaking packs. These are 5100 milliamps, 5.1 amp batteries. So we need to wire these in series. So we're going to go negative to positive. We're going to go negative to negative on the quad. Now, I save positive for last because this one has the anti-spark connector in it. That's this black ring right here. So here we go, guys. Whew. I'm actually kind of nervous about this. All right, here we go. I'm going to point the mic at it. No smoke, no smoke, no smoke! All right, no tones again. These ESCs are very different. They don't run BL Heli. So I honestly don't know whether to expect them to make tones or not. It's a completely different system. So from what I can tell, it's probably good to go. Yeah, they don't run BL Heli. They run their own firmware. These are purpose built for this type of setup. There's no FC Northern 49. That's why there's no lights on the FC. That's just a PDB. Back in the day, when we did individual ESCs, you got to have a big power distribution board. That's all this does, is it takes power in and it sends it to different directions. There are regulators on it, but yeah. I'm assuming that's normal to not have the tones. See, you can tell that I didn't do this beforehand. This is literally the first time I hooked it up because I have no idea what to expect. So I think that's good. I don't know. PDB, not to be confused with PCB, but the PDB does have a PCB on it. Is part of a PCB. PDB, power distribution board. So anyways. All right. So that's that. Yeah, I am unsure if that is right or not. I really haven't seen anybody else do that with these things, but nothing caught on fire, no smoke, no capacitors exploded. ESC's lit up like I was hoping, but that's fine. Let's see. Yeah, the tones are satisfying. So no BL Heli startup tones. So yeah, it adds up. I would have assumed that they had some sort of startup tones, but it may be that it needs to have communication with the flight controller or something like that. So no smoke. So yeah, let's press on with this beast. So the flight controller I'm going to use is the Brain FPV Radix V2. And one thing I've done is gone and pre-figured out the layout of the stack mounting screws. Other than that, I haven't figured out how to wire it up or anything yet. So this may be boring, but you're going to see the process that I go through to figure all this out. Got to remember which way the front of the craft is. That's front. This is back. And then the other thing is also how I'm going to power the Vista, or no, not the Vista, the air unit. So I'm going to go DJI on this just because that's what I like. I am going to power it with a full-size air unit. I have seen other builds with older versions of this flight controller where they've used separate BECs to power this, but this flight controller will do. I think this will do. I think it'll do 10 volts out or 9 volts, something like that. Or maybe it was the PDB. I don't remember. I got to look at the documentation again. So I don't think I need the separate BEC that I bought to just power the air unit. I think I can do it right off the quad. Because if you look at how Callus Machine Works does this, they actually just put another LiPo strap around the arm of the top plate, and they strap a Forest LiPo to the top plate, and then plug that directly into the air unit. And I don't know if they do that because they don't have a good power source, they're using different components, or if they just want it so you always have video. But by that logic, if you lost video because of a bad power supply or something burned up, you'd also lose your receiver. So I don't know. I don't understand the logic around it. So anyways, we're gonna keep going on this. Yeah, the tones are satisfying. No tones today. No tones. But I did give it full 12S power, so there is that. So it is not on fire. Let's see. So flight controller is going to go like meow, So what about the weight of the heavy DJ area? Yeah, totally. Okay, yeah, definitely not a factor. There is no connector for the PDB for the to connect to the flight controller, so these are all going to have to be soldered by hand, which I am very poorly prepared today. I don't have any of my soldering stuff prepped because I took it on vacation with me. Bad YouTuber, right? This makes for fantastic content, doesn't it? Right back. All right, let's get rolling on this thing. I was freaking out when I plugged in my 6S Octo. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. How can you destroy it, Cora? By having it built, having it put together wrong. If I connected the wires to the wrong spots, then electricity goes to the wrong places, and then the magic smoke comes out of it. Hey, Rat Logan Jr., thank you, man. No. It's weird when things read out emojis. 134, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Cora. How difficult was it to solder those thick gauge wires to the X-Class? Not bad at all. I solder everything, and I'm going to be using Freedom units here. I solder everything at like 850. A lot of people suggest, oh, you want to, the melting point of solder is 375 degrees, so just a little bit above that. No, hot. You want to go in as hot as possible, in as short a time as possible. The dwell time is what kills things. So super hot, clean iron, clean work, good leaded solder. I always do leaded solder, rosin core leaded solder. Good clean tip. Get in, get out, and get on with your life. Higher heat, even the tiny stuff, even this little 22 gauge wire, I'm gonna solder this at 850 with this tip. It's like a 3/16 chisel tip. It does come with time and experience and skill, but hot all the time. People who end up killing boards because they start lifting pads is because they sit in there with a 400 degree soldering iron. It takes forever to heat up. You end up heating the entire board before you actually get the work up to temperature. So the work has to get to the point where the solder will melt to the work. And by work, I mean this. This would be the work. The board is the work. Especially the ground pads. The ground plane is huge, so it tends to soak up the heat, the energy you're putting into it. So it takes a long time to heat up. So if you're at 400, you have to heat all of this thing. The whole thing's gonna end up getting super hot before this gets to the temperature that you need it to melt the solder. If you get it hotter faster, you don't end up heating up the rest of the board as much, and it's more focused. So high heat, good leaded solder, and then also you want to have what's called a thermal bridge. I say a clean iron. clean your iron in your little Brillo pad. Take that water-soaked sponge, throw that thing right in the trash. All you're doing is carrying contaminants from your tip, from other soldering jobs to the work. They're bad. Get rid of them. If you really want something to rub the tip on to clean it, paper towel and isopropyl alcohol. That's how you're supposed to clean the tip. But you want to have a thermal bridge. You need to touch some solder to your iron first. So there's a little bit of solder on the underside of it. And then when you touch your work, that bit of solder creates the thermal link between your tip and the board. If you have a ultra spotless tip and you touch the board, the only thing that's transferring heat to the board is that tiny little area that the metal on your soldering iron tip is touching the board. Having the solder on there allows that energy to flow in a larger surface area down to the work. I could talk soldering all day long. Oh, that's why she didn't. Be right back. I was wondering why she wasn't bothering me. She was outside. This is Lucy. I just picked her back up from the other half of the family. She's the Chiweenie in the family. She's an awesome little dog. Super sweet. She smells like sun and grass. She's been outside sunbathing all morning. That one's Lucy. She's the Chiweenie. Yeah, somebody keep me honest with the time there. It's 11:11 here, 11:45. Somebody remind me. We'll go and spin the wheel for that Beta 95X V3. Is there a way to get all 4 ESC telemetry to goggles or downlink to TX? Yes, you can. You have to be running BLHeli32 ESCs, and you have to have the telemetry wire hooked up. Not all BLHeli32 ESCs have a telemetry wire. Most do, but not all of them do. Some of the older BLHeli32 ESCs also had individual current sensors on the ESCs. That has kind of gone away, but there are OSD elements for ESC sensing, but you also have to have the TX wire from the ESC going to your flight controller. And then in your motors tab, in the ports tab, you need to set up ESC as a telemetry source for the UART that it's connected to. And then you also have to enable it in, I believe it's in the motors tab or the config tab. Things have moved around a little bit in this last configurator, and I'm not looking at it right now. Then you also need to enable the element in your OSD. To downlink it to your receiver, there's probably a telemetry sensor that it comes out to. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on it. Let's see. You don't pre-tin. Oh no, I pre-tin. Sorry. Yeah, I definitely pre-tin every pad that I need to solder to. Sorry if I didn't say that. Got to pre-tin the wire, and you got to pre-tin the board. You don't have to. It just makes life way easier. It also helps preheat the board. Also, another recommendation is when you're soldering something this big, or ESCs in general, save the ground for last, because that's got the largest thermal mass. So as you start heating up and soldering everything else, you're preheating that ground plane, and then when you get to the ground, it tends to solder a lot faster and easier. Just a little tip. Got paid to chase mountain bikes yesterday, fly high. That is awesome. I set up the Discord. That's cool. I'd like to do more of that kind of stuff. All right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, we're gonna slaughter this up. Our motor wires here. Tools are moved around. I built another quad last night. Just just by myself, off the camera, just for myself. I don't do it too often without bringing everybody along for the ride, but last night I did. Preheat this sucker, and we'll move this guy out of the way for now. Check these guys out. They love her. Before you ask, yes, it's 3D printed. No, I'm not going to post a link to the STL. But I'll tell you, if you go to Thingiverse, you type in yet another vise, this is the one will be at the top. It's an awesome print. Really kind of tests your printer's ability to do threads. Spoiler alert, a lot of them out there can't do it. No, I don't use strippers on silicone coated wires. I do on PVC coated wires, just because it's convenient and easy. But silicone wires, these are so easy to strip that I don't find it necessary to do that kind of stuff. Blu-Tack's your friend. My friend. Our friend. Everybody's friend. Everybody loves Blu-Tack. Let's see if we can brighten this up a little bit. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. ISO. There we go. So I'm just dabbing in the brass sponge there, just a little on the tip. That's that. Now, I usually do use my my Heiko, but that's in a different room for demonstration purposes, just to show that you can do this stuff with even the cheapest of hobby grade soldering irons, portable ones. I always try to do this stuff with this one. This is my Sequire 001 or whatever it's called. This thing's awesome. It's a TS100 clone, but she does good enough. All right, so we're gonna get in here. We're gonna solder up the motor pads. So we've got motor 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then telemetry. So we're just gonna get in here. I don't do the through wire thing. Nobody really does. This board has been conformal coated already. I've conformal coated everything, soldered it up, gone back and reconformal coated, and I will do the same with this as well. I do need ESC telemetry because I will not have voltage sensing, because the flight controller doesn't have the ability to read voltage sense up to the 12S voltages that I'm going to be using. So we're going to do we're going to do everything through the ESC telemetry. And let's just double check we're doing this the right way. Just checking our pin map here, trying to figure out which one is 1 and which one is none. Motor 1. Stupid tweezers are bent. The tips are so thin on them. Just 2. Three. And 4. Go back to the chat here. Doesn't look like you did the wires. That's why I asked. Ledger. Joke. She said they're shedding all over the couch to get rid of them. I just get rid of her. Get the dog and the couch. Would-win. Any issues with the Sequoia SQ001? Just got one. About to compare with TS100. No, I think it's a great iron. As long as you get the right tip with it. 11:45, Rob Logan. That's when we're going to do it. 11:45. $11.45. All right. I need a TX wire. TX is the ESC telemetry. It's the last pin here. So I'm going to stick that in there. I think when I originally soldered up the ESCs, I was going to leave off the telemetry wire, but started thinking about the configuration and realized quickly that I definitely need them. I can't remember which tip this is. I don't really like using multiple tips. I just get one that I like. This is the one with, it looks like maybe a 3/16 chisel tip. That's the one I like to use. There you go. All right. So we do have a 12 volt and a ground. I think that's what I'm going to use for powering the air unit. Actually, it'll probably be this one back here. This is 12 volt ground. 5 volt, 12 volt ground, 5 volt, and I believe the BEC on this thing was like, it's a couple of amps, so it was enough to power a Vista. The Radix V2 will take 12S input VBAT. I think the older one couldn't, but this one, like the Radix V1, I don't think could take 12S, but this one will take 12S directly on the plug. So I don't think I'm going to give it 12S, although I probably could, and I think this thing might actually. Yeah, see, the problem is I'm finding a lot of documentation that's written for the original V1 version of this flight controller, which this one is, I think, a bit more advanced, or it's definitely more, it's specifically designed with large 12S applications involved. So I don't know. I don't know if I should go directly to VBAT or go directly or go to like a regulated output. VBAT pin is used for both power and voltage measurement. If you bridge the jumper, 8S max when bridged. BTX, okay. So, okay, I think if I bridge this, it will use the internal power measurement chipset in here, the stuff for doing power measurement, but it's 8S only. So if I leave that off, I can go 12S direct into this thing. I think I might just go directly. I don't know. What do you think? Should I do straight VBAT? Ryan Settlemeyer says, should I build a Moon Goat or an Apex? Build an Apex. Apex has a 1-year warranty on it. If you break carbon, they'll send you new stuff. At least they used to. I don't know if they still do, but a lot of people don't know that about Impulse RC frames, is they do free replacements. Let's see, what we got her. Straight VBAT. Morton Upshot says, no point in going VBAT to the FC. The FC does not need it. Would use regulated. Okay. But if one of the regulators on the PDB dies, because this is a regulated 12S voltage out of the PDB, if the voltage regulator dies on this, I lose my flight controller. But if I go straight to VBAT and I lose, the regulator dies, the flight controller will still run. But my camera will be powered off of the air unit will be powered off of the PDB. So I would lose video. So what are the other outputs on this guy? We've got focus. What we got on the bottom here? We've got look like we have much regulated voltage on this thing anyways. I don't know what this ends up being here. We got UARTs, LEDs, ground. We got 5 volts, so that's going to be receiver. This looks like video. Video in 1. I think this is will take 2 cameras, so I think that's video 1 from 1 camera. Video out. And video 2 here on the bottom. So ground power, feedback, current. So we got here. This is the camera voltage selection. So for that, we'll either do VBAT or 5 volts for VTX voltage. So that's not going to help me at all. Yeah, so I am going to have to power the air unit off of the PDB, or I could power it off of VBAT through a BEC, which might be a safer option. And Rob Logan, you are right. I am over frickin' thinking it. Highfly says Apex has a 2-year warranty. Okay, yeah, 2 years. Armageddon Marmot has a lifetime warranty. Yeah, except for you're going to need that warranty with a Armageddon product because they're not that great, in my opinion. Yeah. Which board is more expensive? The PDB is. By a bit. What's on the wheel? It is a Beta FPV 95X V3. It's a cinema type thing. And you got to figure it out. I haven't had an Armageddon quad in a long time, but the few times I have used them, and this is like 4 or 5 years ago, it was a complete pain in the ass to get replacement parts. And every time you asked for a warranty piece, they basically treated you like you're trying to screw them over. And then you had to wait for them to come from China. It took forever. Like if you, especially like with the OG Chameleons, like you would just buy another base plate. That way you had one on hand. Every time you broke one and needed a warranty one, you would have one to swap in while you're waiting for your replacement claim. I don't know if things have gotten better or not. VBAT off the regulator is the safest bet. You're probably right, Gamma Gonad. VBAT off of the Maytech, or getting voltage off the Maytech back is probably the safest bet. Powering the flight controller off of VBAT is probably the best as well, if that's what you're trying to say. Yeah, Armor 10 was good 7 years ago because everything was garbage, but they haven't improved their design really. Why the top two motors stay green? There might be something wrong with. There might be something wrong with that thing. Hang on, let me tell it to do something. It might fix it. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it gets a little funky. And then I think there's also a delay. There you go. Seems to be working. Seems to work. All right. Well, it says it'll take 12S. Let's give it 12S. There's no like VBAT pads on this thing. I'm sure this BEC would never die. I mean, this is the beefiest BEC I have ever seen on anything. Plus, for the price of what I paid for it, I would hope to hell it wouldn't die. But as with electronics, they die. Did you die? Where do I want to pull power from? Let's get it from right here. Yeah, I like that idea. Let's pull it right off of the ESC pad. A helping hand here. And this was... A lot of people don't realize you can do this. Got power connection. And we'll get ground here. Being very careful since I gotta like swing my soldering iron over the board, not to dribble any solder on it. But that's what we got the jeweler's loop for. I don't know why my dogs are barking. They never bark. It's weird. I don't know why they're barking. I'm gonna look at the driveway camera. That's what they're barking at. Amazon. Makes sense. Makes sense why they're barking. They usually don't, though. Let's see. So YouTube changing my text emojis to emoticons to emojis. What's the difference? I don't know what the difference is. I fly BQE. BQE makes some pretty decent frames. Right now, my favorite 5-inch acro frame is either the AOS 5, which sucks to build in, but it flies really, really well. And then the FEV cycle glide. Sorry, glide. Those are still my favorites. All right, so I have my connections done here. Motor 1, 2, 3, 4. I have ESC telemetry, VBAT, which is 12S. Wow, that looks like ash. That didn't work out like I thought it would. All right, I'm going to move this one to here. That was a miscalculation on my part. Big time. I could turn the flight controller, make the connections look a little bit more better, a little more better. But I think we're gonna leave it the way it is. Well, I mean, I don't want to make this thing too complex. It's already complex as it is. I don't really want to throw any more wrenches into the mix, per se. Just need to remember to go back and reformal coat that ESC wire. Dang it, come on. These tweezers are junk. I need to get new ones. Actually, I'll probably just clip the ends off of these, make them shorter. They're ultra fine point. There we go. Might be a little better. I'm not pleased with it, but it's there. Yuck. Yuck. I mean, it's there. It'd be nice if it was like that, but I don't know. I guess that's just the way it's going to be. Let's see. Emoticon equals old school text smileys. Splinter says I want to do a glide. Do a glide. You'll like it. The only thing I don't like about the glide is the base plate is drilled for M2 hardware for your flight controller and ESC, which is fine because it's a lot easier to make the hole bigger than it is to make it smaller. You can just drill them out for M3. I try to fly everything on M3. I despise M2 hardware, but I would prefer that the frame came with M2 than M3 because then I can always just punch it out with a drill bit. But it is all M2 hardware as far as like for the FC and ESC mount, which is fine. You just know that if you use M3 stuff, you'll be drilling it out. But the Glide is a great frame, absolutely spectacular frame. My Dane says hello. Oh, they hear that? This is about my salary. 7-minute warning. All right, thank you. Rob Logan Jr. You guys have 7 minutes to get in on the giveaway. If you haven't signed up yet, make sure you do so. If you don't know how to sign up, all I can say is figure it out. Because there are a certain group of people that they know. So is this a Betaflight build? Yes, it is Betaflight. I hate M2. I do hate M2. I mean, you got a drill press. You get fancy about it. You just drill out the hand drill. Yeah, I don't like M2 hardware. If I can, I prefer M3 if I have the chance. All right, Rob Logan, I get it. Let's move back over to the main cam here. So, let's see who we got. We got 42 concurrent viewers. Rearrange the screen here. Just snuggled up on a couch. She didn't get treats. She was outside. She deserves it. She's a good dog. So if you're peeing in my house. Lawrence said, sent question into your DMs in Discordian. Let's see. What's he got? Open original. Let's see. Let's see what his question is. Lawrence says, so put the bottom bin file on the VRX and update it. What are the other files for? Do I need them? If so, how do I use them? Yes, you need all of these files. So it will update. Oh, sorry. If you have the SharkBite VTX, you use this one. If you have the HDZero one, you use these two. But I believe you just dump all of them on the SD card, and it will go through and update what it needs to update. But if we go over to this guy here, we can look at VRX update guide. VRX update guide. Disconnect cable. Connect the VRX to VTX. If it's disconnected, unzip the SD card contents into there. Power on the VRX. So pretty simple guide. Let's see. How does that break down? So let's see. We got the HDZero VRX, and in there we have those. And we've got the SharkBite VRX. I believe you're going to want to put all of these on there. So they do have a separate set of firmware for just the HDZero VRX, and then one for the SharkBite. I believe, Lawrence, if I remember, you have the SharkBite one. Just take all these files, dump them on the SD card, and then power it on. And then it'll go through. You'll see it. say it's writing SharkBite, and then it'll say it's writing HDZero VA, then it'll say it's writing VRX or RX, and then it'll shut itself off. And it should, I think, clear all of these off the SD card. But yeah, that's what you gotta do. Put them all on there. I just wasn't sure if they had two separate file targets for the new SharkBite VRX and the older one. We got 1 minute. 1 minute alarm. Did only change half the LED drone. It changed it all. There are some colors that use a lot of power. So I have power going in 2 different spots. I probably should tap power into like a 3rd spot up here to make it more uniform. So what you're seeing is a voltage drop across the array of LEDs. That's why it looks different colors, but it's a voltage thing. Some colors are worse than others. So like purple uses a lot less energy for some reason, so you don't see that color gradient so much. Like, see, it looks like what's in focus, but if I do well, that's not bad. Sometimes in between color, yeah, right there you go. So that one, for some reason, draws a lot of power, and you get that color gradient on it. It's something I want to fix. I just haven't had the time to do it. If that makes any sense. You need power injection. Yeah, I have power injection in 2 spots. I need a 3rd. But yeah, that's exactly what it is, Morton. I got emailed a link to a Patreon link once. I remember, I think $2 to $3. There you go. And then, like the lights are a different type of LED, so they're not, the colors aren't perfectly matched between this brand of LEDs and that brand of LED bulbs, and then like the LED strips that are in this versus the LED strips that are above the couch. And then I've even got an LED floodlight on the wall there. I always forget to turn that thing on, just because it's not smart like the rest of the LEDs. Or not as smart as the rest of the LEDs, if that makes any sense. No, I don't want to rate you. No, wrong program. And I can never remember what program it is. I should probably put it in a folder. Where's it at? And then I've got LEDs around my workbench here that you guys don't see. They're for me. And then I have a light, a screen light. I don't know if you've ever seen a screen light bar, but it also has LEDs on the back of it. A lot of LEDs going on in here. A lot of LEDs. What the heck company makes that stupid light? Trying to find it here. Sorry, I'm ignoring you guys. Give me a second. Is it Keep Smile? Keep Smile? It is Keep Smile. There we go. My device. What do we have? Flood lamp. And let's turn it on. There you go. See? Flood lamp. But it's not I can control it through an app, but it's not integrated with WLEDs, so I don't typically use it all that much. But it's pretty bright. I was thinking about trying to tear it apart and add it to the WLED thing, but it's, yeah. You see Fly High FPV LEDs. Drop a link. I'll take a look at it. Rob Logan, you better watch yourself. I still have the power. All right, guys. It is way past that time. I'm going to close down the entry for the Beta FPV 95X V3 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, no more. We got 45 entries in it. Need to be more. So here's how it works. I do this once a month. This was for last month. I didn't stream last month, so it's a little early this month. To get on the giveaway, anybody can enter, but Patreon, $5 and up. If you're one of these cool kids up here, $5 and up, I make the link public as soon as I make it available, so you can get in there and get your name on it. $2, you get a notification when it goes live, when the live stream starts, and then it's open to everybody then. So that's how you get in early for these. Also, you get access to the Patreon-only section of my Discord. And for my monthly giveaway for the FPV crate sub 250 crates, instead of having to search through the video for the link, then having to jam that into the Google machine to get to the entry form, I make that link public for you guys on Patreon. So some benefits to being part of the Patreon. It also supports me if you give two shits about that. So. Anywho, let's go over here, and what is your name? Ryan Settlemeyer. You're in there twice, so I'm gonna bump you once because that's just not fair. Because you're cheating. Whoa, how do I? All right, this really screwed things up. So we got a double in here. What's your name? Ralph Settlemeyer, 2 entries. He entered twice. It shouldn't let you do twice, but delete that. So then I can actually see. There we go. That works better on my end. If somebody puts in their name more than once, which they shouldn't be able to, but sometimes it happens. Google does weird things. It will. To create a bar graph, and I can't just grab the names and dump them into the wheel of names without fixing it. So here we go. Wheel of names. You guys know the next question. Some of you do. Give me a time. Customize. So all the emojis, that is from my daughter. She must be bored. 37 seconds. All right, Rob Logan Jr., it's yours to win or lose, however you look at it. All right, guys, I'll shuffle this sucker up. Good luck to everybody. Thank you all for supporting me. I greatly appreciate it. By the way, you got to cover shipping. If for some reason the person who gets selected, I don't hear back in 6 days, and I put in the email they send you, then I'll just randomly pick somebody and send it to them. But got to cover shipping. If you're overseas, it may not be worth it, but we'll figure it out when we get there. All right, guys, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good luck to everybody. Thank you so much for your support. Let's see. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Let's see. Nope, not Athex, not Lawrence. It's not going to be House FPV. It's going to be Josh. Kevin Smith. Or Steven Stein something or other. Ooh, I think it's going to be Kevin Smith. Oh, look at that. It is not Stefan Steinbaker. Congratulations. You are the winner of the Beta FPV 95X V3, no receiver, analog, quad. Congratulations. hit me up over on Discord, Patreon, or email me at twifv@gmail.com. But in reality, I'm going to end up emailing you so we can verify everybody's information. So congratulations. And next month, well, no, this month's giveaway is, do you guys want me to tell you what I'm going to throw up for the monthly giveaway? You guys want to know? I wonder if the time actually affects the selection or if it's just for the animation. It's a great question. I don't know. Lawrence robbed again. Yeah. Tell us. Wanting to put a naked vista in a 95X. The bones. All right, let me grab it. All right, so next month is going to be. Let me change the camera here. It is going to be. Let's see, what's this thing? So, let me bring up the product description here. Is going to be this little guy here. This is the Flywoo Firefly 1.6 inch hex. This is DJI. This is a has a naked vista in it with, I don't remember which camera, but it will be for this. Alternatively, if you're not on the DJI system, I also have a Darwin FPV Baby Ape Pro that will go along. It won't go along with this, but it will be either or, whichever one you want. It'll be up to you. So it'll be this or the I don't have it. I don't have it right now, but it'll be this or the Baby Ape Pro. If you're an analog fan, take the Baby Ape. If you are on DJI, this little guy. So that will be this month. So if you want to get in early, become one of the cool supporters up there, go to tweetfv.com. You can find all the links to do all that stuff down in the bottom of the main page there. The left side is all the affiliate links, and on the right side should be all the ways you can follow, support, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, all that fun stuff. It's a dog. It's a dog. What are you talking about? You silly. Oh, did you see a doggy? See a dog? These dogs? Those doggos? And you can see how bright that light is. It is bright AF. All right. Okay, let's go back over to the beast class. Keep working on that thing. Apparently, every time I move my OBS, it resizes all my preview widget thingamabobbers. Let's go back to the bench. I've got everything on a macro. All my key lights, they get brighter when I switch from the bench cam to the main cam. It's kind of nice. I got a lot of time into this setup, guys. A lot of time. All those dogs need another treat. What do you guys think? I think they need more treats? Yeah, they probably do. They hear the jar. One of them's super eager, and she just jumps out for it. All right, that's enough doggo treats for today. I'm gonna get sick and throw up. All right, back to this mess. Flight controller is wired up. I wonder if we would get tones now if we power this bad mamma jamma. Let's go ahead and stake it down a little bit. Because now we actually have connection to the ESCs. I don't know why I'm putting in all 4 of these. That's kind of silly to do it right now. Let's see. Oh, this is USB-C. Connect this guy up. All right. Connect. No motor protocol. Accelerometer is enabled but not calibrated. Yep, that's fine. Let's calibrate that. Okay. That's all moving properly. I'm cool with that. And, you know, we're going to have to be in and out of beta flight quite a bit here. So we're just kind of do a few things here. And for whoever it was that asked about ESC telemetry, here's how you set up ESC telemetry. So my telemetry wires are hooked up to the PDB, which are going to go to, at least in this case, they're going to go to RX4. So we're going to find UART4. We come down to sensor input and select ESC. And that's how we get ESC on ESC telemetry in right there. And then for my receiver, let's see, what UART do I want to use? Probably going to go with, I'm looking at the little card here. We're going to go with, you want to be in 2. So we'll just set that now. So I can mess with it later. All right, let's see. Yeah, I tested props on. I don't know if you guys ever seen the video where I hover tested my my X class, this one here, in the basement. Configuration. What is on this thing? 421. Okay, we're definitely gonna end up changing that, but not right now. I need telemetry. And I'm unsure if I'm going to put a GPS on this. I probably will at some point, but I don't have any plans for it right now. Down the motors. This is ProShot 1000. That I am unsure of. ESC sensor uses KISS BLHeli 32. So we're not using BLHeli 32. Do not know. Things to think about. Noobs is dropping out to go watch JB. Yeah, go for it, guys. That's fine. I expect that at noon. JB's got one hell of a following. Polar is only for 60 frames per second. Yeah. You'll be able to test hover today. Absolutely not. No, definitely not. It'll probably be another It'll probably be next week. Fly High says, honestly, I'd rather just force Caddx to make a 120 FPS night cams. We can move on. Yeah, I think you might be able to actually, I don't know if you can pull the IR filter out of their 120 FPS cameras. I know back in the day you used to be able to do that with analog cameras. I'm not sure if you can do it. You can do that anymore. I haven't looked at it or thought about that. Back to the bench. All right. Well, let's try powering this guy again. I'm gonna do it with just 6S since it doesn't seem like it made a difference last time. All right, here we go. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear it? Did you hear it? Let's do it again. All right, we got tones. We got tones. Let's see if... I don't think I have enough power to actually do this. But we got tones. That's good. Let's throw 12S at it then. Here we go, 12S. Wow, that's a lot louder. That's a lot louder. Like a lot louder. Let's go to motors. Let's see. Let's spin one up. Let's see what happens. All right. It's turning. It's a turning. Yeah, you guys can't see it. Let's turn this ball head here. There we go. Motor 1. It's going the wrong direction, but that's fine. Motor 2. It's turning. It's going the right direction. Go motor 3. I don't know what all the beeps are for, but we'll figure it out. It's motor 3. It's going the wrong way. Motor 4. She's turning the wrong way. So they're turning. They're turning. That's a good sign. They're working. Let's see. Beta Flight says I have 11S connected. So I'm going to show you the screen overlay. Beta Flight says I have 11S, 45.9 volts connected. Not sure why. Power and battery. Voltmeter source is going to be ESC sensor. Current source, ESC sensor, so let's see if that changes. No, it does not. So maybe we do need that active there. Save and reboot. And power and battery. So here we go. We have our ESC voltages, 25.5 across the board. And amps are reading correct. Connected, it says 8S. That's going to need to be calculated for some reason. Beta Flight's not happy with this. It says I have 8S connected there. Up here it says I have 12S. 46.39 volts is 46.39 divided by 12. 3.8. I don't think that's what these are at. Actually, they might be. Yeah, 3.8. So it probably has to do with my maximum cell voltage is wrong, is a little off. So let's change that to 4.4. Nope. 4.5. Oh, I don't know. It does weird things when you start connecting batteries that are low. Things to figure out. All right, 12S. I don't know why it beeps. I'm sure there's some documentation somewhere I got to look at. All right, so there we go. We got it thinking it's 12S, which is fine. Got that done. Back to the motors tab. Number of motor poles. It's a great question. I'm going to disconnect you. You're Navy powered. I gotta count the motor poles. Sorry, let's go back to the chat here. Bench. Let's see. You forgot the props. Oh, you're right. I can't fit it on the bench with the props on it. To be honest with you. How's the snap when you plug in 12S? There is no snap because I'm using anti-spark connectors. I know I showed this earlier, but I'll show it again. So anti-spark connectors have a resistive element here, this black chunk of carbon, which I'm sure that's what it is. So when you go to plug in, you plug in the ground first, and then when you touch the main discharge lead to this resistive element slows the speed of electrons by increasing resistance when it goes to charge up the system in the cap, so you don't get that snap. And then once the connector goes over top of that, then you have your 0 ohm connection here. So yeah, that there's no spark because it's anti-snap or anti-spark. I couldn't imagine how the spark would be on 12S without those. 6S is pretty impressive as it is. Couldn't imagine doubling that. Let's see. Let's see. I gotta count the poles on this thing. How many motor poles are these? They're really hard to see, the poles. The bell has a lip under the magnet, so it's really hard to see them. I'd like to just pull the bell off and count it, but you really can't get to them once it's assembled without taking a bunch of shit apart. Well, let's just count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 poles. Almost always is, but can't be too sure. 14 poles. Back to beater flight here. So I kind of set things up in stages, especially something this big. Like I don't have a receiver on. 14 poles. Okay, cool. So that's about all I can do with Betaflight for now. I need to wire up my receiver still. Ricardo Ferrer says, 1 hour ago, what did you mean by many of us use a multimeter the wrong way? I didn't say you guys use it the wrong way, you just don't know how to use it the right way. I get a lot of people who are like, oh, I check continuity between this piece and then it's shorted to ground. You can't do a continuity check without isolating one side of the circuit. What that means is if you have a board with a bunch of components on it and you're checking from like the ground pad to the part like, let's say the S-bus pad, because that's the latest one I could think of, you're reading through that entire circuit, like when you have everything connected to it. So you would have to actually, all right, so here was a situation. Had a guy with a receiver wired up, everything like that. He's checking continuity between the, we were unsure if the wire run was good. So he checked ground continuity from the S-bus pad to the S-bus pad, the one on the receiver to the one on the board. So it's a direct short. It's not entirely true because you could be reading back through the entire circuit because you didn't isolate. You have to have one point of isolation. So you would have to take that wire off on one part of the component and then check from one end of the wire to the other end of the wire. There's a lot of ways that a multimeter can end up running you down the wrong road. Like a lot of people check like, oh, my ESC pad has continuity to ground. Yeah, it might be fine. Do you have everything wired up to it? More people will be better served by doing a visual inspection than using a multimeter. Now, if you've used a multimeter for a while and have actually used it in practical applications like checking for voltage losses across a line, or, let's say you've checked continuity on a wire that goes, a couple 100 feet, and about taking that wire and shorting it to ground and then checking point to ground on the other end of it instead of having to run a jumper wire, then that obviously doesn't apply to you. But the vast majority of people out there, they buy a multimeter and they just start sticking probes and shit and getting readings, but they don't know what those readings are, what they mean, or how to take a proper reading. That's all I meant by it. But everybody knows how to use their eyeballs, and they know what a solder blob looks like, or a stray wire from a poorly tinned wire. That's why this is so much more useful than a multimeter. You should have both, though. You should have both. Is there a 1S step up to 9 volt? I believe there probably is. I think I used one in a micro long range build. It's like a 1860 1S build. Use wiring diagrams, not smoke stoppers. Yeah, if you know how to read a wiring diagram. I'd say the people who also I am describing that don't know how to use a multimeter, they're not going to know how to read a wiring diagram. Wait, I take that back. I'm thinking like real wiring diagrams, not, flight control wiring diagrams. I'm applying this to more things than just quad world. All right, receiver time. Where's my receiver at? Where is it? Thought I grabbed one for this project, but I don't see it, so be right back. Grab one out of supply. I'm gonna go with the Beta FEV Nano RX. These are my faves. What the shit? Okay, apparently there wasn't a receiver in that bag. I'll try it again. All right, we're going to be using the Beta FEV Nano receiver. ExpressLRS, of course. got a really shitty comment on a video I did recently where I showed how to put ExpressLRS in any radio by somebody who I think is suffering from some, I don't know, substance abuse. I don't know. It was just a really stupid comment saying that everybody who's pushing ExpressLRS are a bunch of shills, basically. And this person's just fucked in the head. Sorry, we're past the PC part of the stream. If you're sticking around, I'm going to be dropping F-bombs. Sorry that. What brand is your cutter? What cutter? These cutters? These are Snap-on. Not for any other reason besides I have them. And I go through... I used to do production work, so I have a lot of Snap-on gear because there's always a guy that drives around once a week that replaces all my shit that I broke. So that's why. I would never recommend anybody actually buy Snap-on cutters. They're great cutters. These are precision flush cuts. When you buy cutters, you want to buy precision flush cuts, and how to tell is the backside will be ground flat. They won't have a second bevel on the backside of the jaws. You want to buy precision flush cuts. Don't cut anything other than wire, though. If you start cutting like cotter pins or anything bigger than like 20 thousandths, you'll end up screwing up the cutting edge on these things. So very specific cutters for precision work. So most diagonal cutters work on the principle of actually just smashing the wire to make it cut. Yeah. Yeah, the Snap-on truck. Spent a lot of money on that thing. But he also lived right down the road from me. He's a super cool guy, probably one of the best Snap-on guys I've ever had. He would warranty things like drill bits. Like he's like, drill bits aren't warrantable, but he would do it anyways. He's like, it's a couple bucks out of my pocket a week, and it keeps you guys happy. So he's like, why wouldn't I do it? I'm like, yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you? He was cool as shit though. One of the like we got Matt Coe and all the others. Had other Snap-on guys before this one. This dude was awesome. Lived down the road from my parents. Find out, like when I quit my job, he was like, "Hey man, I'll haul your toolbox back to wherever you want it." I'm like, "Really? How much?" He's like, "Nah, just free. I don't care." It's awesome. Every company makes good tools. They have a lifetime warranty. It's not a big deal. It's just whether you're going to need that warranty or not. There's certain things I wouldn't recommend buying off a Snap-on truck, except for they make it convenient because you can usually do payments to them, which is, that is what it is. I don't know. I've got a lot of my hand tools are Husky because sockets are sockets. Until you start talking like black oxide impact sockets, then I buy higher end Snap-on sockets because the other ones, they get mushroomed around on the back, and when they do, then you got to take them someplace to get them replaced or replaced. Whereas the Snap-on guy, he just shows up and gives you a new one. Same thing with screwdrivers. Like Snap-on screwdrivers are fucking money, not Blue Point. Just there is a difference between Snap-on and Blue Point. Blue Point is tools that are produced by other companies that they brand and badge to be sold through Snap-on, whereas Snap-on are typically tools that are designed and built by Snap-on. This is also a while ago, so I don't know if things have changed. Snap-on diagnostic tools, great purchase. Yeah, the what is it? The Dominator series or Determinator? They're really good. Yeah, if you don't make those payments, that was the biggest thing this guy did. Is he was like, when things go delinquent, they come and take your shit because that's what you're supposed to do when you don't make your payments. They come take your shit. Most Snap-on guys didn't want to deal with that. This guy was like, I am on top of every single one of these things because A, he can make a lot of money on it, and B, he can get sell discounted tools to people, and especially toolboxes to people who want or need them. I'm soldering up the receiver. I'm kind of out of frame here. Let me move some shiz around for you guys so you can see what I'm doing. I do very much like the Beta FPV receivers, this size receiver. I haven't used any of the micro ones yet, the ones with the flat antennas. I know there were some issues with the first run of those. The second ones I heard are better, but I like these ones a lot. They have an amplifier on the telemetry side of them. I don't know if anybody else does. And it's a standard crossfire receiver size and pin out, so it's kind of universally sized. And they do make a very good antenna for ExpressLRS. Pro tip, you're done with your soldering iron. Turn it off, and then coat that bad boy with solder. So when this solidifies, it will keep oxygen from getting to the tip, so therefore it can't oxidize. It'll make the tip last forever, practically. So, dang it. It's the hard part about soldering on camera is I can't get down and really look at things. I just kind of have to hope for the best. Pull the wire off. This is going to be ExpressLRS 2.4. I would say probably 90% of the FPV pilots out there don't need 900 megahertz anymore with the 2.4 systems that exist now. Back in the day, maybe a year or two ago, yeah, 900 megahertz was all the rage because it was the only thing out there that had good, reliable signal and range. But the new breed of 2.4 systems are making 900 for the average pilot pretty obsolete. Does that mean you should go out and scrap all your crossfire gear? Yeah, no, definitely not. If you're happy with it, be happy with it. But if you're on old FR Sky or something like that, yeah, I'd recommend making the change. Or if you're getting into the hobby, I would go straight to ExpressLRS. There's a little bit of a learning curve to it. If you're getting into ExpressLRS, buy yourself an FTDI adapter. You will need it. You will need it. Beta FPV does have they have started selling an FTDI. I know, House, it's not an FTDI. I got it. An adapter to flash these things, like force flashes, like if they get bricked, because they do brick easily with bad firmware flashes. These don't have a STM32 on them, so they don't have a bootloader, so you can't just like force a flash to it if it's already bricked. I've got a couple of those coming. I'll do some giveaways for those guys, but if you're getting an ExpressLRS, you're going to want an FTDI. It will come in handy at some point. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully you don't need it, but you will eventually. Let's see, Family Guy ever says, I got a Mac toolbox that's holding up really well. Yeah. So I started working production for John Deere, for a deer dealer. I had a really nice Husky toolbox, and I always hear, oh, Snap-on toolbox is bullshit. Husky's just as good. Those people are fucking insane, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. For the average home gamer, and even like the people who kind of work out of their house, they're probably fine. When you start going in and out of that toolbox 100 times a day, it falls apart fast. And the problem with like in-house brands like Husky, Milwaukee, cobalt, things like that, is there's 100 different manufacturers out there who make a toolbox for that retailer, and they badge them differently. So you have a Husky toolbox and you need a new drawer rail for it. Good luck getting a new one, because who made that toolbox? Husky didn't make it. Some company in Guangzhou made it, but there's also 40 other ones out there. So that's the hard part about it, is it's hard to get replacement parts. Lock sets, like that was the first thing to go on my toolbox. After about a month, the lock failed. Just could not handle being locked and unlocked 5 times, 6 times a day. The drawer rails fall apart, the casters fall apart, anything with like the hydraulic lift for like the lid, that quit. Whereas the Snap-on toolbox, they're ridiculously expensive, and all they do is hold your tools, which is what you make your money with in that for that time. But that toolbox will last me the rest of my life, my daughter's life, and then whoever steals it from her, their life. It's a heirloom product. It will never fail, and when it does, parts will be available for it. And the best part about Snap-on is the parts not available for it, they will replace it. They're never going to do that with the toolbox because it doesn't make any sense. But like, you get a series of screwdriver or something like that, they no longer make the blade for it, you're going to get a new screwdriver that's of the new design. It's just how it works. So you're paying for the future. No, Rob, I was going to show it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Here we go. So Mr. Logan here purchased my old one wheel, and it is living a new life with a float plate on it. And you have been giving this thing hell compared to, I mean, my daughter rode this thing, and I rode it for a little bit, but you are giving this thing hell. That's awesome. Float plate looks good on it, and I'm glad it fits over those fangs. U.S. General Toolbox here, but not inherited. Yeah. How do you compare FR Sky Archer RS to ExpressLRS? Oh, it's not even comparable, Ricardo. ExpressLRS is in a complete other league compared to FR Sky is still they're using a new protocol, but it's still using the old RF system that they used to use. It's the way it talks is different, but the way it talks is the same, but the language is different now. ExpressLRS is light years ahead of what FR Sky is making. There's nothing wrong with Archer there's nothing wrong with any of the old Free Sky stuff. It's just, if you're getting into it and if you're going to buy into a system, this stuff is so much better than what's out there. I feel like you might be wasting your money by going with old FR Sky stuff. But, you know, price is what it is. You know, these are a little bit more expensive. But, yeah, ExpressLRS is awesome. ELS is a lot cheaper too, except for you've most likely, depending on the radio you got, you're gonna have to buy a transmitter module, which is an initial investment, but they're not that much. But I think, like, when ExpressLRS came out, I was very leery of it. I had a quad fly away. It's sitting out in the woods in the swamp somewhere. I still don't know where it's at. But I was running nightly OpenTX. I was running a nightly Betaflight, and I was running a nightly ExpressLRS, and I had a fly away, and I couldn't disarm it. I was very leery after that. I was waiting until ExpressLRS had a main, a stable build, and they did, and I've been on it ever since, and I've not looked back. This is awesome. It's the first piece of FEV that I've come across where I'm like, this is a game changer, because the hobby is so fragmented. That's it. With everything else except for ExpressLRS. It's made by a ton of different manufacturers in different size formats and types of receivers that all work together with the same transmitters from other companies. And they have receivers that work from everything from a micro all the way up to X-Class, PWM receivers for wings, like this one up here that you can't really see. They make everything. So it's one protocol to rule them all. And I am not looking back until something else comes out that's better. But I don't see that being the case. Archer is better than the old XM Plus receiver. Yeah, way better than old XM Plus and RXSR. Not by a ton, but it's definitely better. But it's access only, so if you gotta have an access radio to use it. Athex says too much nightly stuff for me. Yeah, there's no nightlies anymore, so it's all main builds. All right, got my receiver. Unsure of where I was going to put the antenna. I've seen them mounted to the arms, but I think I might actually mount it to the back of the quad here, and then just double side tape my receiver to the frame there, wire it up like this. This is supposed to be for your VTX antenna, but with running the air unit, I'm not going to be using this because I'll be using a different mount. So this is just in here temporarily. I'll probably change that out for something else to make it more appropriate for this antenna, but I may just be a lazy ass and then just kind of do that. Oh, that is nice. Look at that. And we'll just stick it right on the doobly-doo there. So we'll go like so. The one thing I don't like about the Beta FPV receiver, and this is just a real minor thing, is if you ever need to get to the Wi-Fi update button, it's on the other side of the antenna. Typically you VHB the antenna being up because that's the highest point and it doesn't make for a lot of surface contact. So the button would be on the bottom. Same with the LED. Kind of trivial, doesn't really make that much of a difference, but it's just, it is a thing, so. I did such a good job wiring the quad I built last night. I'm very happy with it. Like, lots of really odd wire runs, and I heat shrunk them all together, and it looks pretty. So then I'll VHB that down, and then I'll just pick up my I got a TX1, but I don't know if I have an RX1 unless it's on the other side of the board, which it might be. Where's my screw image jobber thing? I kind of like when they put pads, other pads on other, some pads on the top, some on the bottom, but then there's also times where I'm like, damn it, let's just put them all on one side. Let's see. Yeah, RX1's on the underside, TX1's on the top. So that is fantabulous. So I need to heat shrinkify that. I know this is kind of a stupid plan because I can't get this out without, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. My heat gun's in the other room. Be right back. There we go. I'll heat shrink a dink down. Can't believe there's still 22 people watching this. Is the lower frequency LRS being used much? No, not really. I think most people who kind of need a 900 megahertz system, and the people who need it, they know who they are. They were on Crossfire, and there's really not a reason to switch. Or not a compelling enough reason to switch to 900 megahertz ELRS. Rob Logan Jr., we'll see you later, buddy. Have a nice one, man. Stranger Things. Yeah, I want to watch that. It would be nice to have RunCam release a Thumb V2 with even better bitrate. Yeah, I don't know. At a certain point, there's a reason why they're cheap cameras, is because they're cheap. And then you can't have a cheap camera once you start making them not cheap cameras. Then you start competing with a different subset of the market, which is not cheap cameras. So sometimes you got to know your place. You start making a camera that's not too much more than like the Action 2, or it's not too much less than Action 2, then you're never going to sell any, because people are just going to buy the Action 2. Like you need to be way cheaper than the competition to have a market, or you got to be just as good as the competition to charge close, you know. The Boys, I think it's on Amazon. Okay, mini FPV DVR. Yeah, I actually have one on I have something like that on a 75 millimeter whoop. It's not great. It's not bad. I mean, it works. Looks better than the DVR off the goggles. Oh wait, you're talking the DVR board. No, I haven't used one of those in a very long time. They do work pretty well. There are some that don't work very well at all because they cause a lot of like signal loss, so your FPV feed gets really dark. But I think they probably corrected a lot of those issues. I need to look up the pinout for this flight controller, because I want to make sure that these ones that say power and ground are not like VBAT power and ground. Connecting receiver. Sure. Power and ground. Are you sure that's going to be power and ground? Let's see. So this is what I'm looking at here. Just trying to figure out what these two pads are going to be if I wire into these. Power and ground. Yeah, these have got to be 5 volts, because even if you put VBAT here for the VTX, you would end up frying this. So that's got to be 5 volts. Even though it doesn't say it. I don't know why it wouldn't say it, but it says 5 volts here for the camera. It's kind of a weird way to do this. So I say it's probably 5 volts. You could always put a meter on it. I should probably just do that. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. It's got to be 5 volts, though. It would be silly if it wasn't. Or if it was something other than 5 volts. So, let's get this contraption back together. I got no volts. No volts. Doesn't seem right. Four volts. Okay. I think 6S is too low of a voltage for the back, or the voltage regulator in the Radix PDB, so it wasn't really power enough like controller, but it is 5 volts, so we'll go with that. We'll go with that. But with that said, then we're going to go with RX3 or UART3 for the ExpressLRS receiver. It just makes most sense. And then I'll probably UART3 for the MSP for the air unit. That's what that'll end up being. All right. Receivers in. And receiver should power up when I plug in USB. Hell yeah, look at that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's doing a blinky thing. So we're going to let that flash away. So then it will, you'll see this blue light will end up flashing rapidly. When it does that, it'll be in Wi-Fi mode. There you go. It's hard for you to see it, but it's flashing rapidly there. So let's go back to camera 3. Let's go ExpressLRS configurator. All right. So I need to show you camera 2. Connect to the ExpressLRS receiver network that opened up. Now, my computer is connected over Wi-Fi and wired Ethernet. So if you only are on Wi-Fi, you really can't do this way. But I can have two different network connections at once. So I'm on the ExpressLRS ad hoc network from the receiver. And I'm still on the internet through the Ethernet. So this page automatically opens and you can see I am connected to this as version 1.0 firmware on it. So we do absolutely need to update that. We're gonna go over here, pick the latest version 2.5.0. This is beta FPV 2.4 and it is the Nano 240 RX. Is that what it was? Yeah, Nano 240 RX. I really need to do a better finding phrase one of these days. So we're going to do this over, we'll do it through Betaflight pass-through. Let's see if that works. I've had mixed success with it. Only COM port left. So here we go. For some reason when I do this, my computer tends to have a lot of stuttering, so I may drop some frames here. So let's build in Flash. Like when I do any review videos or anything like that, if I go and flash a receiver while I'm recording through OBS, I get major frame drops. Oh, you know what? It probably didn't work because I picked the wrong UART. All right, so here's the error I made. Is you need to have your UART set up correctly. I picked the wrong UART. We need to be on UART 3. There you go. UART 3 for SerialRX. That's a button, right? UART 3. For some reason, I had 2 UARTs selected. So UART 3, SerialRX. Betaflight pass-through tends to work really well if you've already been using it, because then it means it's actually communicating correctly. So let's try it again. If this doesn't work, we're just going to go right to Wi-Fi. Let's see, Mac 282, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I'll add that to the Beast Class fund here in just a second. It's gonna work. Nope, not gonna work. Oh, it is working. There we go. Betaflight pass-through. It's working. So you can do it this way, but if you're going to do it over Wi-Fi and you only have Wi-Fi on your computer, you would have to do the build and take that built file that comes from the configurator. So like if we just did, we just do build here. Give us a second. So when you've finished building it, this is the firmware that gets flashed to your receiver. So you're going to take that firmware and then you're going to go back to this web page and you're going to do choose file. You're going to find that firmware and you're going to update it through there. That's for the first time if it comes on V1. After that, so what happens... since I put my Wi-Fi information into there, it will eventually go into Wi-Fi updating mode. I love ExpressLRS. It's so creative. So we're waiting for this to start rapid flashing, which means it's in Wi-Fi binding or Wi-Fi updating mode. I'll give it a couple more seconds. I think it's 60 seconds before it goes into that. Let's go. Come on. Anytime. Come on. Do the thing. Do the thing. The longest 60 seconds ever. All right. Now it's doing the fast flash. What we're going to see is over here. We hit Wi-Fi. Just give it a second. What it's going to do is it's going to log into it's going to become a device on my home network. Eventually. No, it's not doing it. Oh, for some reason it didn't take that information. I don't know why it wouldn't. Let's see. What's it say? Yeah, that's there. So now it has my home network information in it, and it should log into my home Wi-Fi. On the next power up. Give it a second here. Again, gotta go back to which is harder to set up, FrSky with silly multiple firmwares or ExpressLRS? FrSky, it's harder. ExpressLRS, once you set up the transmitter side, the rest is pretty easy, especially with the bind phrase. With the bind phrases, it's not hard to set up, but you can make it hard on yourself if you start doing. ExpressLRS gives you a lot of options to screw things up, whereas FrSky, the only thing it gives you to screw up is just having the wrong firmware or not getting into bind mode properly. But ExpressLRS is pretty easy. So all right, we're in the Wi-Fi updating mode, and there we go. Now you see here it says, "Hey, new device connected." It's down here. Here is that receiver. It's logged into my home Wi-Fi network. So if you hit select, it will automatically pick the right device, automatically have all your information in there, and then it's just that easy. If I want to update it, I just hit build and flash over Wi-Fi and it'll update it. Or if you want to see that built-in web page, if you want like the GUI version of it, it's all right here. It tells you what the receiver firmware is, and this also works for transmitters as well, which firmware is on it. If you want to manually flash it, you can do it through your model matching setup through here. And also if you want it to no longer log into your home Wi-Fi, you can delete the network preferences in here. So there's a lot of options with ExpressLRS. That's what makes me really enjoy it. All right, so got the old radio here. My Zero. Plug in, automatically bound. I haven't touched the radio yet since I started this. It's already bound. Go to receiver. Obviously, I got my channel screwed up. I fly TAER. It's an old holdover from FrSky days. So throttle, max min, yaw, max min, pitch, max min, roll, min, max. Arming always has to be on aux 1, and then the rest is kind of whatever you want it to be. So that is that. RSSI on 12. Save. Modes. Arming, like I said, it's always got to be on aux 1. I guess I can do that. So put angle on aux 4. Beeper. I always put that on momentary. No, I put beeper on switch. Flip over after crash. I'm never going to use it on this thing, but you never know. So I set that up on a momentary for other reasons. I feel like I should make a separate model and put pre-arm on there, but maybe later. And then, let's see, black box. I always put black box on my arming switch so it just happens automatically. I don't have to think about it. And then if the black box fills up, it fills up. So be it. I won't miss. If I'm out there trying to tune by using black box, I'll at least, you know, if I set out to do it, I'll clear the black box before I take off. But I won't ever forget to enable it. Gyro scaled. Onboard flash. Save and reboot. So there we go. So now I should be able to arm. So you can do this through Betaflight if you come over here and you click this box here. That will allow you to arm with your radio. And then we can and here we go, arm. Oh, gotta have batteries hooked up. Idiot. All right. There we go. That's being done through the D-Shot beeper command. I don't know if that works since we're running Pro Shot. But that's that. We can go back to ports, and I know I'm gonna put DJI on UART1. So we'll do our MSP configuration there on UART1. And then as far as the OSD goes, I have a preferred setup. I'll dump that in here one of these days. But for the most part right now, I'm just gonna hit save. So there we go. So I think that's gonna about do it for today. Made pretty darn good progress on it. Next thing we gotta do is get the top plate on it, get the DJI system working. I need to get a camera still. I have cameras. I just need to get it out of the quad that it's in that I'm going to take it out of. And then, I need to reverse the motors. The motors get reversed, I think, through solder pads on the ESCs themselves. Let's see, APD ESC, advanced power drives. Let's go to products, documentation. I think it's F-Series ESCs, yeah. Let's see, where's the documentation for these things? So we are using the F120 ESCs. Wearing the ESC, yep. Cap, yep. There you go. That's how you reverse the motors. You got to solder these two little bridges here. So yeah. So we got to do that. Let's see. Endpoints. You see the firmware PWM input. I'm not using a PWM input. Let's go to advanced setup. What do we got here? Tuning, PID tips, whatever, filters, whatever, firmware updates. Firmware updates. We'll worry about that later. Okay, so the beep every 10 seconds is ESC, idle ESC tones. Okay, so that's all it is, just idling. Yeah, that's what we're hearing. All right, so that'll do it. I'll go ahead and reverse those ESCs off camera because it's just literally a couple solder pads, and that's, you know, that's nothing. Back to the chat here, just make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see. Carter, which is harder to set up at first? Oh, yeah, I already talked about that. That 101 ELRS binding session, thanks a lot. Yeah, no problem, man. Will you add a GPS? I probably will, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why I would, other than just to get speed readings. It's not like I'm going to long range this thing. That would be insane. I'm not going to use return to home if I lose something like this. I would never do return to home. I would just have it drop, just because I don't want this thing flying uncommanded, other than to the ground. Which it's kind of a mixed bag. Would you rather have the drone go in the air and fly back towards you, or would you rather have it just fall where it's at? You shouldn't be flying over anybody or anything, anyways. It's hard to say. Lawbart kept me company while I finish off my build and updating shit. Oh, hey. For all the people who stuck around, here's what I built last night. Every once in a while, I do like to just build a quad without involving the whole world. I built one of these. This is the newbie drone in Visa 360. So, very excited about this. I'm going to be playing around with that 360 camera a little bit more, and this is the tool I'm going to use for it. So, get to share that with you guys. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I have stuff I got to do. I'm hungry, and I think the kid wants to play Minecraft for a little while. So, with that said, thank you all for coming out. If you guys want to support me, make sure you go to, minus MIPI cable. Yeah, I'm waiting on a longer MIPI cable. I bought two. I think we're going to need one on this build as well. If you guys want to support me, head over to tweetfv.com, become a Patreon supporter, get early access to the giveaways and all the other fun stuff, special access to my Patreon-only section in Discord, and get yourself a set of radio grips over there. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out. And for the 14, 15 of you that are still around, you guys are truly the best, especially since you could be watching Joshua Bardwell. Lawbart, I'll harass you later on Discord. I know you will. Ricardo Ferreira. Yeah, later on tonight. All right, guys. We'll see you next time, and stay positive. See ya.